Most people think saving money is the responsible part. But for a lot of middle-class people in America and Europe, saving is actually where the financial problem quietly begins. Because the moment money sits still for too long, life starts finding ways to consume it. A higher rent, a car upgrade, a vacation you deserve, a phone payment that somehow became normal. And after a few years, many people realize something uncomfortable. They spent their entire 20s and 30s becoming financially stable without ever becoming financially free. There's a very specific financial pattern that happens to millions of people. It usually starts with a decent first salary. Maybe someone graduates in the UK and gets a £34,000 office job. Or maybe someone in the US lands a $68,000 marketing role after college. At first, the income feels life-changing because compared to student life, everything suddenly looks affordable. A nicer apartment, a reliable car, weekend dinners, streaming subscriptions, new clothes that fit the job, small monthly payments that don't seem dangerous individually. And technically, this person is still saving. Maybe they keep $400 or $500 aside every month. So psychologically, they feel responsible. But 5 years later, something strange happens. Their salary doubled, their stress doubled too, and their bank account still doesn't reflect the amount of work they've done. Not because they were reckless, but because they misunderstood the difference between saving money and building capital. Those are not the same thing, and modern financial systems quietly blur that line. Imagine someone earning $5,200 a month after taxes in the United States. Sounds comfortable on paper, but then reality enters. $1,900 rent, $540 car payment, $220 insurance, $480 student loan payment, $300 groceries, $180 subscriptions, apps and memberships, $450 eating out and social spending, $600 miscellaneous spending that somehow appears every month. After all of that, maybe $500 remains, and that person feels proud for saving it, which they should. The problem is what happens next. Usually, nothing. The money stays in a checking account, or maybe a low-interest savings account. Safe, visible, accessible, and eventually vulnerable. Because idle money attracts consumption. A vacation discount arrives, a friend gets engaged, the laptop suddenly feels outdated, an apartment upgrade becomes emotionally justified, and slowly the saved money flows back into the economy it originally escaped from. This is why many people feel like they're financially sprinting, but never actually moving forward. Because saving protects money temporarily. Investing changes what money does permanently. The uncomfortable part is that modern culture heavily encourages saving while quietly discouraging investing. Saving feels safe, investing feels uncertain, and human psychology is designed to avoid uncertainty, especially for people who grew up around financial instability. If someone watched their parents struggle with bills, debt, layoffs, or inflation, their brain naturally associates cash with safety, not opportunity. So even when they finally earn decent money as adults, they still behave defensively. They hold cash, delay investing, wait for the perfect moment, research endlessly, stay cautious for years, which feels intelligent emotionally, but mathematically, it becomes expensive. Let's look at a very ordinary example. Two people both save $500 a month from age 25. The first person keeps it mostly in cash. The second invests consistently into broad market index funds. Nothing aggressive, nothing flashy. Just long-term investing. After 10 years, the saver contributed $60,000, but inflation quietly reduced the purchasing power of that money every single year. At 3% inflation, money loses roughly half its purchasing power over about 24 years, which means doing nothing risky still contains risk. It's just a quieter risk. Now compare that with investing. If that same $500 monthly investment compounds at around 8% annually, historically close to long-term stock market averages, something interesting happens. After 10 years, the investor doesn't just have the money they deposited. They have growth on top of growth. Compounding begins doing work their salary alone could never do. And this is the part many people misunderstand. Investing is not primarily about becoming rich quickly. It's about reducing dependence on future labor. That's a very different goal. Most middle-class people are taught to think about money in terms of income. How do I earn more? But financially intelligent people often think differently. They think in terms of ownership, not consumption, Not appearances, not lifestyle signaling. Ownership. Owning assets that continue producing value even while they sleep, travel, or age. Because eventually, every salary reaches a psychological ceiling. There are only so many hours a person can work without exhaustion entering the picture. And this becomes very visible in Europe and America today. Many professionals earn objectively good incomes but still feel financially fragile. A lawyer with debt, a tech worker with lifestyle inflation, a couple earning six figures but living paycheck to paycheck after mortgage payments, childcare, subscriptions, travel, and financing. From the outside, it looks wealthy. From the inside, it often feels tightly managed, because income without assets creates dependency. The person must continue performing at a high level indefinitely just to maintain stability. And that pressure slowly changes behavior. People become more afraid of layoffs, more afraid of career risks, more afraid of slowing down. Not because they're irresponsible, because their lifestyle became expensive to maintain. This is why turning saving into investing is less about financial knowledge and more about identity. A saver asks, "How much money do I have?" An investor asks, "What is my money doing?" That shift sounds small, but it changes almost every financial decision afterward. A saver sees market drops as danger. An investor often sees discounted ownership. A saver waits to feel ready. An investor understands readiness usually comes after starting, not before. A saver protects money from loss. An investor protects money from stagnation. And importantly, financially intelligent people are not emotionless. They still feel fear during market crashes. They still hesitate. They still worry about uncertainty. The difference is they build systems that operate despite emotion. Automatic investing, long-term timelines, simple diversified portfolios, predictable behavior. Because they understand something most people discover too late. Wealth rarely comes from intensity. It usually comes from consistency, surviving long periods of time. And there's another psychological layer people rarely discuss. Consumption gives immediate emotional feedback. Investing usually doesn't. Buying a new car feels visible. Upgrading an apartment feels visible. Luxury purchases create social proof. Investing feels invisible. Nobody compliments your index fund contributions. Nobody notices your retirement account, which makes investing psychologically difficult in social environments built around visible success, especially during your 20s and 30s. This is why many intelligent earners accidentally trap themselves. They optimize for looking financially successful instead of becoming financially resilient, and the difference only becomes obvious years later. The reality is, most people will never invest huge amounts in the beginning. That's normal. The important transition is behavioral. The moment money stops being viewed only as spending power and starts being viewed as a worker, because every invested dollar quietly performs labor on your behalf. Not instantly, not dramatically, not in a cinematic way, slowly, which is exactly why so many people underestimate it. Modern culture is built around visible speed. Investing rewards patience that nobody applauds in real time. And maybe that's the strangest part about financial maturity. At some point, financially intelligent people stop asking, "How can I look wealthier this year?" and start asking, "How can I make future pressure smaller?" That question changes careers, purchases, debt decisions, lifestyle choices, even relationships with status. Because real financial stability is often quieter than people expect. It usually doesn't look luxurious. It looks flexible. The ability to survive job loss without panic. The ability to say no to bad opportunities. The ability to age without financial fear dominating every decision. And those things are rarely built through saving alone. They're usually built when saving evolves into investing. Slowly, consistently, almost invisibly. If this video helped you think about money a little differently, you can subscribe for more calm, reality-based conversations about finance and modern life.